I know.
And then for me, I listen to the tones.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're on.
We have enough of us?
Okay. Good luck.
About 6.
I know. This would be too early.
Welcome, everyone. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act authorizes Board of Education to meet in executive session under certain circumstances. Wait. Getting ahead of myself.
Are you ready?
If you would please call the roll. Thank you.
Ms. Bose. Mr. Clark.
Here.
Ms. Evans.
Here.
Ms. Farmer.
Here.
Ms. Groger.
Here.
Dr. King. Mr. Pluta. Ms. Santos.
Here.
Mr. Van Hise.
Here.
You have a quorum?
Thank you. Okay. Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act authorizes Board of Education to meet in executive session under certain circumstances, and where the Open Public Meeting Act requires the board to adopt a resolution at a public meeting to go into private session. Now therefore be it resolved by the Lawrence Township Board of Education that it is necessary to meet in executive session to discuss certain items involving matters of personal confidentiality rights, including but not limited to staff and/or student discipline matters, and specifically HIB. Also, matters involving personnel issues, included but not limited to the employment, appointment, termination of employment, terms and conditions of employment, evaluation of performance, promotion or discipline of any public officer or employee, and specifically superintendent's contract. If I could please have a formal, But further resolve the discussion held by the board, which need not remain confidential, will be made public as soon as feasible. The minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Further resolve that the board will return to open session to conduct business at the conclusion of the executive session. Formal action will not be taken in executive session. The executive session is expected to last approximately 30 minutes. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second? You could please call the roll, please?
There was a motion made by Mr. Van Hise, seconded by Ms. Groger.
That is correct.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Groger.
Yes.
Ms. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes.
You're in executive session.
Thank you. Okay, we'll be back at approximately, anybody up to 30 minutes from now. We're ready to begin. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. As required under law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided via email and/or fax to the Times, the Lawrence Ledger, the Public Library, and has been filed with the municipal clerk. This notice was provided prior to 48 hours required by the Open Public Meetings Act. The board reserves the right to limit public discussion of personnel items and other matters as defined in the law. We'll now have the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And as we have graduated all of our students last week, we do not have a student representative report. We will now have recognition and acknowledgements.
There's none.
Oh, okay. With that, then, we'll take us to the adoption of minutes. If I can have a motion to move minutes from the executive session, June 7th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
And the regular session also?
And okay, I'll do them both together.
Yeah, they're
And
good
also
together.
the motion for the executive session of the regular minutes from June 13th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion by,
I'm sorry, I was saying that each one of those has the executive session and regular session combined with them.
okay,
Okay. Are we okay with that amendment?
yes.
Okay, great. So it was made by Ms. Evans and
Ms.
seconded by?
Evans, mhm.
Second.
Second by Ms. Santos.
Thank you.
Okay.
Would you like me to call the
If
roll?
you could please call the roll, yes, thank you.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kroger?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Heist?
Abstain?
Ms. Farmer?
Yes,
Your motion carried.
thank you. Next, this will bring us to reports to the board, first with the superintendent's report.
Good evening. It's nice to see so many people are here in the summertime. We spent, as an administrative team, our last 2 days in an administrative retreat, planning and setting goals for the next school year. We have a very busy summer ahead, and I have 2 months here, and I am committed to working tirelessly until the transition. And I really just wanted to share it, and this is not my last board meeting, but it has really been an absolute pleasure to be here and serve as superintendent. Getting to work with all of you and the students and families in Lawrence for the last 6 years has been one of the greatest pleasures of my life. And I wanted to thank everybody for some tremendous support and patience during some really, really tough times. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I know excellent things are ahead. The Board of Education could not have chosen a better next leader and a better person in Robin Klim for superintendent. So I know that's later in the agenda, but congratulations to Robin, and the board really did an outstanding job of searching for the perfect fit. So well done. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Board Secretary, do we have a report?
I provided mine earlier in the month, so we can skip.
Okay.
Thank you.
That brings us to the board president's report. And again, I want to share in Ross's enthusiasm, which will come later in the meeting. But I just wanted to share with the public a little bit about our process in the selection of our next superintendent. I vowed to be transparent in our process, and I just wanted to share some notes from the committee. And I also want to publicly thank the committee who worked so diligently, a thorough search, very committed to finding the best candidate for Lawrence. So I am most appreciative to the select committee, which consisted of Michelle Bose as the chairperson, Amanda Santos, Michelle King, and Arundel Clark. led the committee, but I also want to extend an additional thanks to the rest of the board who really stepped in when needed and did an excellent job in coaching the committee and providing the necessary support for our search. So Kevin, Joanne, and Pepper, that you're here today, I just want to publicly thank you for your work as well. And just to give some general information of how the search was conducted, just to start, we had a combination of postings in various organizations. We were in the New Jersey School Board Association listings, New Jersey SBO business officers, the New Jersey Schools job, and the New Jersey School Board Association. I think I have that twice. There were 34 candidates who applied, and that's a considerable number for a superintendent search. 10 of those were certified superintendents at the time of their application, and 2 were from out of state. So we did have a regional impact, and we did have superintendents that were ready to go as well. The remaining of the candidates consisted of people that were teachers, principals, and other school administrators or professors. We also had a very diverse pool of candidates as well that pulled from male, female, and persons of color as well. The first round of interviews consisted of 5 candidates. 1 declined to continue in the process due to compensation. Second round of interviews, there were 3 selected candidates who met with the full board. 1 of those 3 candidates declined to meet with the full board, and so we narrowed it down to 2 candidates. In addition to that, we had only 1 internal candidate apply for the position, and as you know, we felt that that was a critical part to our decision-making process. It gave kind of a little bit of a lead-in for that individual. And in a very competitive market, we are fortunate to have found someone within our ranks who we believe as a board will do an excellent job in serving our students. It has been our experience so far, and we are just looking forward to working with that person. Okay. In my additional notes for the President's Report, I also want to recognize our Superintendent of the Year. Dr. Ross Kasem has been selected to be the Mercer County School Board, not school board, Mercer County. You're ours, we just, we don't want to let you go. But Mercer County Superintendent of the Year, and so well deserving, and we are so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and with that, Dr. Kasem Ross has really put us in a position to really lead this district forward, and we're so grateful for that. He has been a great talent search finder for us, and we couldn't be happier. And we just want to thank you, and you're, again, very deserving of that Superintendent of the Year. I like saying that. And lastly, I just want to thank the parents, the teachers, the administration for a wonderful graduation. That was a great time for all of us to be together and celebrating our students. And especially I want to thank you for your thoughtfulness in how you handled the loss of one of our students at graduation. That was definitely appreciated and heartfelt. So thank you again. It just goes to show what type of district we are that cares for their students and the community. So I just wanted to publicly thank you for that as well. Okay. I think that's it. Probably my longest president's report. So with that, we'll move on to the next item on the board, on the report, which is committee reports, and we begin with the Community Relations and Legislative Affairs.
Community Relations met on June 20th. In attendance were myself, Robin Klim, Joanne Groger, Pepper Evans, Rob Pluta, and Dr. Kaysen. We discussed filling the SAC position, that they were big shoes to fill, and we have made a recommendation for the position, which is very exciting. Our district liaison, Robin Klim, has plans to meet with Chief Longo and the Mercer Council to discuss how we can expand services to the community, looking through the district data, what do our kids need, and so they'll do a data walk and build out community stakeholders. She also has plans to meet with ECV to work on, smoothing out our relationships and expectations with them. We also reviewed 4 policies from 2018, which will be up for readoption on the July 12th agenda. Joanne provided us with the legislative update. 2 exciting things of note. There's been a bill proposed for universal free lunch. And additionally, 2 weeks before the final AP test this year, the state released aid to provide $50 towards the AP test registration for students who are on free and reduced lunch, and LTPS was able to refund that to all of our free and reduced lunch students, so that was really great. Our next meeting date is to be determined.
Okay, thank you. Next, negotiations has not met since our last meeting, but we'll be meeting shortly in the future. And that brings us to equity.
Equity did not yet meet. We'll be meeting tomorrow.
Okay. Guidance to mental health. Okay, Michelle, so that's that. Next on to New Jersey School Board Association.
Okay, the executive board met for Mercer County, June 26th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We determined dates for next year's meetings, and they're as follows: September 21st, and I have volunteered Lawrence. We're going to host this meeting here in the Commons. The second meeting will be December 14th, and Trenton High will host that one. February 8th will be a virtual. March 13th, West Windsor, Plainsboro, and May 16th, I'm hoping that we can host that one. It makes it so much easier for everyone to jump off of 95 and get right here. Topics, we have narrowed down quite a few, but until we get the speakers lined up, I don't want to announce and get everybody's hopes up. It was nice that I had some feedback from our board requesting specific topics, and I thank you for that. And know that that was reported out in the meeting, and we're making that happen. All of the meetings will be hybrid, so if you can't attend at the locations except for the one that's virtual, you can always register and attend from your own home. This year, we're switching from the 8th grade dialogue to the Unsung Hero. Please visit New Jersey's school board's website to view the recorded Unsung Hero events. I believe once you experience this, you're going to be so happy that we're going to switch to this program. It's really quite spectacular. There's students that don't normally get recognized, and the school counselors have a big hand in selecting these students, and they get their moment to shine, and it's usually extremely worthy. There's never a dry eye, so we're going to do that. Let's see. More to follow with updates on topics of our meetings once, as I said, we confirm the speakers. And I was asked to look at our school board training for just us, not through New Jersey school boards, and that's kind of why I recruited your input. So if we can attend, especially the 2 that are going to be here in Lawrence, that would be awesome if we could do that. Obviously, you need to do the governance 1, 2, 3, all those, and 4 for the school board training for next year. Let's see. There are a bunch of webinars that are available, and I encourage you to take a look at those. And I'll just do a quick project graduation since we did talk about that. We had over 200 students attend. It was so exciting. The kids were great, super fun parents, a lot of singing, dancing, some hugs and cries, and all kinds of great stuff. But I really want to take the moment to thank all the people who donated financially and for those that helped volunteer They gave their time, and it really made the event extremely successful. So the dedication that they had was just above and beyond, because as you know, it ends at 5 in the morning. So it's a long time to be there, but there's so much going on. And also I want to thank the local businesses. We had Starbucks that had real Starbucks coffee. It was really great. And all the other businesses that donated pizzas and bagels, and without their help, it really wouldn't have gone as well as it did. So we had great, happy graduates.
And just to add to that, Joanne, I had the opportunity or the privilege to volunteer for Project Graduation this year, and I was there for that 2 to 5. 2 to 5 shift, but I was afraid that I wasn't going to wake up in time to get there too. But once I did and I got there, it was a great experience, let me tell you, interacting with the other parents who were volunteering. It gave me an appreciation for administration and teachers who have to keep their eyes on our kids during the day. You know, for that short time, I was like, wow, okay.
And we have parents
and it was
who work that didn't, their kids have graduated years ago, and they still come back.
So I encourage anyone who has a child in the district, even in elementary school, to get involved. It is a great event that we do for our graduates, which is all about keeping them safe on that night of graduation. And they have such a good time. They really, really do, and appreciate everything that we do. So thank you, Joanne, because I know you always encourage us to be a part of it, and it really is a fantastic opportunity for our students. Okay. Next is Lawrence Township Education Foundation.
LTF had several grant presentations that were attended, in addition to several grants being written and submitted. The grant to Church Dwight for Wellness Series in the amount of $10,000 was made. Another one for a few BMS grants for 3 STEAM enhancements for a total of approximately $32,000. And ETS will not be providing funding for next year, so LTEF will be starting the year off with a $94,000 less than normally received. LTEF is trying to make this up with another huge community-wide fundraiser and hope that the entire community will show its support.
Okay. Thank you very much. Lawrence Town Council.
I did not get a chance to attend this month.
Okay. Lawrence Township Growth and Redevelopment. I was not able to attend either, but they had a tremendous speaker, a gentleman by the name of, let me just pull it up. But anyway, I'll share it with you. It's just basically a gentleman who spoke about businesses coming into New Jersey, into Lawrence Township, and what they look for in their business choices. Direct Link.
Did not meet.
And partnership. I did have a chance to meet with the Every Child Value group, who is currently working on their strategic plan for the next 5 years. So I was able to provide some input and get some feedback from them for that meeting. And also discussing their new summer track program, which they're initiating this year. Mercer County VOTEC. And special education.
The pre-K through 6 special education supervisor position has been filled, and the duties of the position will begin on July 17th. The assistant superintendent position is currently going through its 2nd round of interviews in search to fill the vacancy. The hiring process and preparations for launching the ESY program is complete as we are entering into its summer session.
Thank you very much for that. And review of communications. I don't believe we have any.
There was none.
Okay. With that, this will bring us to our first opportunity for public input. We ask that you state your name, where you currently live. If you're not comfortable stating that, you're welcome to write it in the sheet that is at the podium, and we allow for 3 minutes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jessica Paolini. I live at 58 Stonecker Drive. My son Tyler just finished kindergarten, and we were really lucky to have Mr. Billy as our principal. I'm just going to read from this because my son and husband helped me put together the list of what made him very special. So he knew every kid's name, and he made a personal connection with them. He got them excited every day and greeted all the kids outside in the morning. He invited the families to school regularly for extracurricular events. During breaks, he actually live streamed read-alouds. He shared weekly updates with families, highlighting student accomplishments and letting us know about upcoming events. And he really valued time in the outdoors and nurtured connections with nature. So we're really going to miss him. And as you seek to fill the new principal role, we hope that you'll consider candidates who share some of these same qualities that Mr. Billy had. We moved here from South Jersey, and we chose the neighborhood specifically so our son could go to Ben Franklin. So we just want to thank you for your leadership and involvement, and just express what a great school it is.
Thank you.
And usually we don't comment much, but thank you so much for sharing that. I agree with your sentiments. Jay is a fabulous principal, a wonderful human being. He will be absolutely missed at Ben Franklin, and we have begun that search already. We are looking for somebody that can fill some very big shoes and move Ben Franklin and keep the excellence there. We really have a great pool of candidates already, so I'm very excited that we will, yes, difficult shoes to fill, but we'll find somebody outstanding for that school. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other public input. Board discussion and work session, we do not have anything for this evening. Board discussion and action items, we also do not have anything prepared for this evening, which will bring us to our next committee, which is personnel.
Okay, we met earlier this month, so we didn't meet a second time. However, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Sean Fry and his department for such quick action in locating candidates, contacting departments to expedite necessary paperwork for hires, and to stay on top of keeping our district staffed with excellent educators and staff members.
Yes.
On tonight's agenda, you will see appointments pending background checks and clearances, additionally appointments due to those clearances, EDPs, summer security staff, staff members and summer appointments, corrections, adjustments, resignations, and I have to just take a second for a retirement who happens to be an amazing teacher, Christine Kelly. She taught in Lawrence for 25 years. I had the privilege of working with her at LES. She's touched many lives. She worked with students with special needs. She had a real gift. She met them where they were, and that's a special person. Her kindness and her ready smile, you just, when you're in the room with her, that's what you saw. So she will be missed, and we are going to miss having her on staff, but I know she's going to have an amazing retirement. So with all of that, I'd like to move P1 through P26, please.
Second?
Okay, with a motion from Joanne.
Want me to
Yeah, if you could call
call
the
the
roll,
roll?
please.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Kroger,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
and Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. That brings us now next to CIAPD report.
CIAPD met on June 22nd. In attendance were myself, Pimmy Goomer, Dr. Kaysen, Joanne Groger, Michelle Bowes, and Pepper Evans. We discussed the LHS academies. The administrative team is visiting other school districts to observe their academies. And over the summer, they'll meet to reorganize and work through ideas for additions to the academy's program. We also discussed a new science platform for K through 5. We were awarded a grant for a field test. It's a program called Open Sci-Ed. This grant includes professional development for some staff members who will then create training materials for the program. This is approximately a 2-year process. We also discussed a new executive function curriculum, which is very interesting, called SMARTS. We're piloting this curriculum next year in grades 4 and 9. This will offer students lessons, professional development for teachers throughout the year, and we're planning for an info session for parents at back to school night. We also reviewed 3 new textbooks for adoption, a new AP Environmental Science textbook, a new textbook for 10th grade chemistry, and a new textbook for Spanish 1. All of these have an online component. The new NJSLA testing schedule has been released, so we're working on building the school and testing schedules around this. They are planning an administrative leadership retreat, which is going to be offered as an Amazing Race style activity. So I'm sure our administrative office is looking forward to that. We will have a new staff orientation August 23rd and 24th and 29th and 30th. We are expanding our mentorship program for all new staff, regardless of experience level. Our idea is to support and retain more staff members with this mentorship program. On the agenda tonight, you'll see some grants. We've allocated some title funds. There's a decrease in most title funds except for Title III, which received a bit more due to the influx of immigrant families. We spent most of our carryover funds last year, which is good news. Also on the agenda, you will see a safe return to school plan. This is going to be on our agenda until September 2024. We're just using updated CDC guidelines regarding COVID-safe return to school protocols. Also on the agenda is a John Zoll grant from the Charles Schwab Foundation. It's just a $1,000 grant. And they are doing a first reading of several policies. The new business on the agenda also, we have a new Talking Points app that we will be using to communicate with families, and it'll be available in all different sorts of languages. And with that, I would like to move IS1 through IS8.
Second?
Okay. The motion is second. If you could please call the roll.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Kroger,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
and Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. That brings us to the next item on the agenda, which is the Finance Committee report.
Finance met on Friday, June 23rd. We had an extensive agenda, as evidenced by the minutes that went out earlier today. First thing we had talked about is the policies. They are contained as action item SBM5 for introduction. We also had a discussion and update on our HVAC systems. There was some malfunctioning with those, and it's been an ongoing investigation. We have confirmed that the systems were designed and verified to be correct, and we have traced it down to what we believe is a manufacturing error in those, and they're in the process of being troubleshooting those right now and looking at options to get those corrected. Business Administration Office has also been very busy with now all of the year-end kind of typical action items, looking at the year-end purchases, copiers, music equipment, supplies, kind of getting ahead of our needs for the upcoming year. We have property casualty insurance renewals, also proceeding with the HVA systems, basically installation, replacement, and repair of rooftop units over at LIS and also at the high school. Looking to proceed with architect contracts for a partial roof replacement at LES and also an upgrade and renovation project for the middle school lavatories, which are overdue and needed. So, and will actually dovetail nicely with the LMS auditorium project. And that will really be a showcase facility for the district when that is completed, and that is on track and proceeding. They're also talking about the grants.
Funding, we've fully expended the ESSER 2 funds for this year, and there are still some remaining funds in the ARP grant, and we are looking at additional programming and student supports that will be able to utilize those remaining funds. There's also a new point of sale system that is being recommended for award. This will be a great new system to facilitate specifically lunch purchases. Will also expand the ability of parents to be able to check balances, add funds to those. And then really importantly, we'll be able to expand opportunities for, basically district purchases, school store. We'll facilitate fundraising opportunities for our clubs, teams on that. And specifically for the fundraising, which I'm not sure that a lot of people understand, but when we use kind of some of those crowdfunding sources out there, the fees on those are actually very high. So a lot of the teams raise a significant amount of money, but then they're actually lost. This new system as part of the bid actually significantly reduces those fees, which will increase the amount of funds that actually our teams and clubs and activities will be able to rely on. There were a couple other typical end-of-year fund balance reconciliations, deposits into reserves that we discussed. We also did learn about the LTEF loss of funding this year, and one of the things that they will not be able to proceed with is their contribution for the auditorium project, but there are sufficient funds the district has available, so we will cover that shortfall and still proceeding with the project. We also had the pandemic electronic benefit transmission cards. There was a federal program that is providing $120 to qualified students for those PEBT cards, so that will be a welcome funding for those. The district continues on its residency evaluations. We do investigations when we believe that there are students that may reside out of district that are attending. The one investigation is continuing, and another was actually confirmed for a student resident. We're looking at going back out for SREC for another SREC sales, which will bring additional funding in for next year's budget. And we are still continuing to look at our health insurance and specifically prescription reimbursement and evaluating our options with that. And so we're looking to get another year of experience rating on that. And next year we'll be reevaluating that, looking at providers, looking at other options that we may have available. The last two are kind of really great things that we're looking at. One of the focuses, as everybody has known this year, is really on wellness and teaming with one of our health insurers and looking at grant opportunities. We're going to be offering wellness pre-screenings for our staff members so they can kind of look at any health conditions that they may have that may be undiagnosed at this time, and also looking at programming to improve health, wellness, individualized fitness programs, diet plans, supportive groups, and including even friendly challenges. So there'll be, possibilities of using apps and those kinds of things. So, you can pair up with friends to kind of challenge each other, do it within the school. We can do school to school or even district to district. So that would be funded by grant opportunities, which would be fantastic. And then the last thing is, we've kind of, as we increase our reliance on digital technology, one of the things that we're losing that personal connections with our community. And so kind of a new initiative being led with Ross, Tom, Jill is looking for ways to really reconnect actually with our parents, with our families. So we're looking at opportunities even on registrations. They can do the electronic online version, and then they'll try to do an outreach and connect with parents. If they don't want to personally connect, that's fine. But at least trying to bring back in that personal touch. And as we found over the last couple of years, those personal relationships are so important. Anytime there's times of crisis, anytime just in need. So if we can reestablish that, Tom's even talking about taking field trips out, meeting parents and stuff like that at bus stops, and having the kids interact with everybody. So like I said, very busy finance committee meeting, but very productive. And so with that, I will move SBM 1 through SBM 9.
Second?
Okay. The motion and second, we can call the roll.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Groger,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you. This brings us to our second opportunity for public input.
That's a good idea.
Seeing none, we'll just keep moving the agenda along. And this brings us to new business.
Okay, on new business, you will see a leave replacement, EDPs, student technician volunteers, elementary teacher, as well as a math teacher, along with transfer for Nicole Einhorn to become the new pre-K through 6 supervisor of special education in CST. And I'm going to ask to move NB1 through NB17.
Second?
With a motion and a second, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Clark,
Sorry, point of privilege. Do we want to include MB 18? Because that's also.
We're going to do that
That's
separate.
separate.
We're
We're pulling that.
My apologies. Yes.
thank you. Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Groger,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you.
And Nicole's here tonight, so congratulations. Welcome to the team, Nicole.
And welcome aboard here. And now we'll look at NB 18. Move that one forward.
I'll second.
With a motion and a second, we could please call the roll. Should I say, this is resolution to approve the contract for superintendent of schools.
Thank you.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Emphatically, yes.
Mrs. Grover,
With a smile, yes.
Ms. Santos,
Absolutely.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes as well.
Ms. Farmer,
That is a yes.
your motion has carried.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Klim. Welcome. And you're welcome to make some comments.
Thank you. I just wanted to publicly thank all of you for such a phenomenal process. I knew that this place was super special, but getting to know all of you through this journey to the candidacy has been really special. Lawrence is an amazing school district. I want to thank Dr. Kaysen for his support along the way. I will continue to keep him right by my side for the next 2 months. Everybody knows that leaders can't do that without the support of their family. So I do just want to recognize my husband, Dan Klim, is here in the audience. I want to let you know that I am raising 2 teenagers at home, so I understand what it's like to lead and to also run a household. And I want to thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. I will never forget my roots of being a social worker. I actually started doing in-home counseling in the inner city, so I really met the client where they were at. And that's kind of how I lead. I build relationships, I meet people and families and students, and I go see what the concerns are. And I promise to do that throughout my entire time leading here, and I want to thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So I don't believe we have anything left on the agenda. Is that right? Okay. So I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.